Sometimes I ask myself, why does everyone always talk about how great their grandpas are? Looking at the way mine lived his life, I think I know why. Not only was he a great human being, he was a great father, grandfather, brother, and uncle. He lived his life in a way that I admire. My grandpa was a person who possessed qualities that I can only dream of one day having. My grandpa had one quality in particular that not many people possess. Instead of acting the way he did, most people would feel sorry for themselves. My grandfather persevered. He went through some hard times in his life, but he was always upbeat, ready to have fun. Before he died, he developed a serious case of lung cancer. It was a hard time for my entire family, but he would act like it was no big deal. He was always ready to keep pushing forward. Not only was my grandfather perseverant, he was hardworking. Sometimes I would go to his house and he'd be working till the sun went down. One time I was staying with him and my grandma for a week in the summer. I constantly wanted to play with him, but he would tell me, "Autumn, we can't play until all the work gets done." My grandfather also had a filter of truth, a layer of his mind that could see through lies. He could always tell when his grandchildren were lying or when something fishy was going on. When I was at his house, my cousins and I would get the cookie jar down from the counter. He would come in and ask us where all the cookies went, and we told him that we didn't know. He saw through our lies and laughed at our behavior. I've also heard stories from my parents and relatives. There's one story in particular that fits this quality. I was born, but don't remember my grandfather's 80th birthday party. It was a surprise, but a few days before, my grandfather found out. He could tell that his children and grandchildren were hiding something from him, and being the persistent person he was, he made us tell him the truth. My grandfather was a selfless person, always putting others before himself like Jesus would. Every Saturday, my family would go to his house and eat dinner with him and my grandma. He would always let us get our food before him, or if we forgot a fork or a spoon, he would get up and get one for us. Being selfless like he was a rare thing to have, and I wish I was as selfless as him. Even though I can't say all the things my grandfather was and did, I can't think of a person who had more of a positive influence on my life. And even though I didn't know him for very long, I can tell he taught me to be a better person, not only in the way he lived his life, but in the way he taught me to live mine.